Hi, I'm Giorgio. Welcome to Milano Malpensa, where we are building the net zero airport of the future.
Giorgio, welcome to Inlet on the Road. Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure.
The airport can be called a front runner in the decarbonization of aviation. What's happening here to reduce the airport's carbon footprint?
Our airport is a front runner in decarbonizing aviation. Our idea is to make experience, to make prototypes, to make demonstrator, and to bring our experience into the community, into the industry, to build the roadmap for all the industry together. All this experience, we are bringing it within the Alliance for Zero Emission Aviation, an initiative from the Defense and Space Agency in Europe. We are working with 143 stakeholders, and we are coordinating the group of aerodromes to make the roadmap over these experiences for our airport, but also for all the other airports. In our airport, 98% of emission comes mainly from aircraft operations, and also a big part from accessibility. So we are indeed committed also in having a net zero goal for our emission, but it's a very small part. The point is which fuel is used by aircraft. The aviation is committed to 2050 for a net zero, but we have to start now. We are working mainly on sustainable aviation fuel. That means the biofuels now. From 2025 it will be a mandate here in Europe, but also we have to work from now to use hydrogen as a propeller for aircrafts. We started in 2020. We are already starting to think about what hydrogen for aviation will mean at an airport. We expect to have aircraft propelled with hydrogen around 2035, 2040. And what we understand through the experience we are doing with our cooperation with Airbus, with the gas company, the main one here in Italy is Snam, is that we have to be prepared from now to understand how to bring hydrogen here, how to handle in terms of the facilities, who is going to do what. Hydrogen is quite different from Jet A1, and liquid hydrogen is needed for the aircraft.
Sounds like a lot to be done there, and that can't really happen in a vacuum. Tell us more about the projects and innovations that the airport is collaborating on to make this all possible.
Airport itself can't do these things alone. What also the European Commission is providing in terms of funds, and the funded projects are a great resources. We started with the OLGA project. OLGA stands for Holistic Green Airport, and we are doing a great job together with Paris to have hydrogen produced here in Milan from 2025, not for aircraft, for ground transportation, but this is a start. Together we have also to think about transition to electric, also for the aircraft. So another big project for us is to bring charging facilities or just plug-in facilities for the fixed ground power unit for aircraft. And we are going to have all our airports equipped in 2027, 3 years in advance of the European mandate, which is 2030. Then we will have the first demonstrator for aircraft refueling by hydrogen in 2027. We will make experience for the direct refuelings. And in Paris, in parallel, we will have the so-called tank swap approach. So this is a big project we have here in Italy, together with the National Energy Agency coordinating it.
An end goal here seems to be the creation of a true hydrogen hub. whether heating and power or even transportation. What are the operations that will benefit from the airport operating as a hub?
We often listen about airport of the future as energy hubs. It's correct, and it's also the right way to look at the airport as the place where, if you want to have electric aircraft, hybrid electric aircraft, hydrogen aircraft flying, well, electricity and hydrogen, they must find it at an airport. But the airport itself cannot stand alone, get the needed energy unless he's included in an ecosystem, or how we call it, the hydrogen valley. So what will be affected? Almost all the activities and all the processes where we need energy. So we will start from vehicles, mainly with the heavy duty. Heavy duty vehicles at an airport can't be only electrified, otherwise you start loading an aircraft and then you have to recharge. Hydrogen is needed for that. And also, if we think to the so-called sustainable fuel, you needed hydrogen to provide it. So hydrogen is affecting all the things that are running about the airport, and everything will work if the airport will have production on site, storage on site, but the airport must be connected to the network of hydrogen provision. This is what we are planning to do. We will have a pipeline running close to the airport, not for ourselves, of course, but we are coordinating the development so that it will be the way to bring this new vector, energy vector, to the airport. The airport, if you see it in this way, will be actually the accelerator, the enabling subject, not only for the aviation, but also for all the community around, all the land, all the towns and industry. Everything must be connected. Malpensa is the main cargo airport in Italy, and together with the other intermodal facilities we have around here, we move around 1,200 trucks per day. If you think that in 6 years 2% will be hydrogen trucks, well, you can imagine why, for example, we are planning a commercial, open hydrogen refueling station in 2 years from now.
Speaking of the future, you mentioned the coming years, the roadmap for the airport, by 2025, hydrogen will start being used. By 2026, for the Olympics in Milan, hydrogen fuel buses will be used. Looking forward, how will the airport and its fuel use evolve?
Olympics will be a great showcase. Olga is Paris and Milan, just because Paris will have the Olympics this year, 2024. In 2 years we will have the Winter Olympics. But what we see is that hydrogen will support increasingly all the accessibility way to move passenger, operators and cargo to and from the airport. Then also hydrogen is expected to be an option for heating, for emergency electric provision that are now based on fossil fuel, for example. So it's something that will be a relevant part of the process. The sustainable aviation fuel produced by chemical product, it will be based on hydrogen. So we have to become familiar with hydrogen as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. Recently the G7 met here in Italy, and in their communique, some of the commitments revolve around promoting the use of sustainable aviation fuel, but also further decarbonizing aviation. Looking ahead, how can Malpensa serve as an example for other airports who are also looking to decarbonize?
Our understanding about the role of an airport within this roadmap, we decided to be front runner for it, but we cannot run alone. So what could be the example of Malpensa, Linate Airport, our company, is to export a community approach, a systemic approach to the decarbonizing roadmap as the only way to succeed. We started this year, also here in Italy, a new initiative which is called SAVES. If I remember well, is Sustainable Energy Vector for Aviation, promoted by the Civil Aviation Authority and the National Energy Agency. Milan and Rome are working together, bringing expertise, prototypes, projects, but the scope is to provide our Ministry of Transportation with clear contributes for a national roadmap. The main airports where you can invest, where you can do things, are working together. This is how Malpensa want to be an example for that.
Giorgio, thank you again for having us.
It was really a pleasure and to share with you our experience.
INLIT will be back in Milan in October. Join us in person for INLIT Europe.